Hi, I'm Cameron, and I'm a scruffy looking Nerf herder.
Oh, Sisbit, is it already time for another episode of the Infernal Brotherhood of Scruffy Looking Outfitters? I wonder what they got cooking for us this week. Inform Lord Vader at once and tell him to bring me that rebel scum.
Hey, everybody!
Hey!
Welcome to the Infernal Brotherhood of the Scruffy Looking Nerfers. This is already getting off great. Anyways, this is a live streaming YouTube vidcast made by Star Wars fans. Yes, as you know, clearly just figured out. Anyways, so today we'll just get right into it, or well, probably banter. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're gonna wing it. Damn it. Anyways, today we are going to discuss arguably the best film in the franchise. Period. Like, let's be honest.
Period.
Let's get out of the whole sci-fi area and just go straight into fantasy.
Yeah.
We're going to discuss the Caravan of Courage.
Dun dun dun.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this movie. So, did you watch it back in the day in the 80s?
Well, very likely, but the movie was released on television 2 years before I was born, so I didn't see it when it was new.
Yeah.
I was definitely of a generation where, like, our church was Blockbuster Friday, Saturday night, so I know I saw it a couple of times that way.
Yeah. Yeah, and the original release was the Ewok Adventure, and it was later released after the sequel came out and they started to do the packaging and titling of it for Caravan of Courage. So yeah, this was originally released in 1984. It's capitalizing on the hype of Return of the Jedi, and honestly, it was created, as I read, for the same reason that the Phantom Menace was created, for George Lucas's offspring. No other reason. Like, I guess his daughter was a huge fan of Ewoks, and so he was like, "Let's make a movie."
Yeah. When you're George Lucas, you can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he did, because then we get to be here talking about it. So
yeah.
This is a fantastic show. So let's just dive into what Caravan of Courage is all about. I don't know. Do you want to do a plot summary?
There's a plot. Okay, so basically,
loosely.
Yes, there's a very loose plot. So basically, a family ends up crashing on the planet moon of Endor. And
can I pause you there for just a second?
Yes.
It's like the Frankenstein monster thing, like the planet moon, and everyone calls it Endor, but it's not. It's a moon. It doesn't even have its own name. It's just the forest moon. Like,
whatever.
How crappy is that, right?
No, actually, like, well, I won't bring it up because it'd take too long to find it. But there's a special edition version of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein where actually at the end he says, "You can call me Frankenstein. It's okay."
Well, that's awesome. So the planet, after the second Death Star blew up, the planet just said, "You know what? You can call us Endor. It's all good."
It's like, we're pretty fucking important now, so just give us a name.
Did you ever play the original role-playing massive MMORPG of Star Wars, the Star Wars Galaxies? Did you ever play that?
I didn't, unfortunately.
They had the planet there, and I'm trying to remember just off the top of my head. I wasn't like huge into it, but I did play it for a little bit. I think they even referred to it as Endor, and that was like a canon video game, which so it is like the Frankenstein thing. All right, just wanted to put it out there. Hi, Lolly. Thank you so much for joining us, dear. All right, so let's. Sorry, I totally interrupted you. My bad.
All right. Well, where was it? Well, okay. So family crashes. They get separated. The adults at the very beginning are looking for their children who were somehow stowed away in the only spot of the spaceship that's not destroyed. And that's the only place the parents didn't look, but whatever. So,
which is really obscure.
I know. It's like...
They were freaking out.
where are they? We've been looking forever. Oh, you mean the one place we didn't look in the spaceship that's not damaged? That's where they were?
Yeah.
Jeez, who would have thought?
Wandering outside in the dark, calling them.
I know. And, okay, let me ask you if this bothered you. It might just be me being me, but did it bother you they had regular flashlights? Like, that was just so bizarre to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, because, I mean, you see lights in the movies, but not like just a regular flashlight.
They like shake it because the D-cells are not working right.
I know, it threw me off. It had been probably about a good 10 years since I'd seen this movie last, and I completely forgot about a lot of it.
Well, that's the other part. I mean, you had ILM doing the majority, all of the effects for the movies, and so that's what we're used to. You get to movie, and you're talking about ABC money. They can't afford like the traditional puppetry or like the ILM digital effects that they used in the movies, and so they really had to scale this thing down. And I guess that included flashlights.
I guess
they didn't have the flashlight budget.
That's probably what it was. It was a last minute thing. Like, oh man, we totally wrote in a night scene and forgot flashlights. Shit, you know what? Hold on. Hey, you got a flashlight? Yeah, okay, bring it over.
Run down to Radio Shack if you don't. Because that was there then. That's a big thing then. All right, sorry. Once again, we digress.
Yeah, okay. So we leave off with the parents. A giant scary monster shows up back in the wonderful days of just frames being put on top of each other.
Oh, yeah.
So beautiful and horrible at the same time.
Let me show the parents really quick if I can figure this out. So this is Jermit, actually. Jermit. And then this is Katarine. So these are the two stupid parents with modern day flashlights and no idea how to search for their kids inside of the cabin of the ship that just crashed.
Yeah.
Dummies.
Yeah. There's just so many things about that crash that it's ridiculous. I mean, this movie in and of itself is ridiculous, but whatever.
That's great. So they get captured by this creature, and we actually learn his name later on, but it's the Gorax. The biggest, scariest, hairiest giant of them all.
Oh, yeah, with amazing nipples. Like, seriously, if you have the DVD version of this, well, if you don't, you need to buy it. You can get it for like $1. Like, seriously, I bought mine for 50 cents. It was the double-sided, it was double-sided DVD with Caravan of Courage and Battle of Endor. It cost me 50 cents.
Wow.
Like, it was pretty much going to get thrown away if I didn't buy it.
Jeez.
But when you watch it on DVD on a big screen TV, it is just crisp, clear, giant, hairy nipples. It's pretty amazing. Like, they sculpted them so amazingly. Like, it's cheesy. It's really cheesy because
they sculpted
big monster
the nipples.
But they took so much care and time making sure he had perfect little teeny tiny nipples.
I want to find out who the costume designer was.
Yeah.
Or the monster designer or something. Dang it, it's not showing. That is awesome.
I know, I meant to look it up. I completely forgot. I screwed the pooch on this episode.
Yeah, this is all your fault.
It is! I ruined it! This guy's better tune out now.
Yeah. Bye, everyone. Okay, so the parents are out of the picture now. We have to somehow connect the rescuing of these kids with Ewoks.
Oh.
What's the hook there?
Enter the Ewoks.
Yeah.
Oh, who was it? It was Wicket that shows up. Or no, it wasn't Wicket that showed up.
It was his dad, Deej.
I don't know. They all look the same to me.
You racist!
I'm a bigot. Whatever. They all look the same except for Wicket because he looks like the Leprechaun. Because let's face it, best thing that Warwick Davis ever did. Like, dude,
it's Wicket. There he is.
I mean, that's cool role and all, but the Leprechaun, that's going to survive much longer than this Star Wars thing. I mean, really. Anyways, okay, so Wicket's pops finds this ship. He decides to go in and investigate because he hears some whimpering and finds this little girl with a really bitchin' headband. Because it is the 80s after all. Even in space, you got to have a headband. even when you don't have much hair to hold back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of important. And I mean, she was a darling, super cute little girl. Where is she? Sindel, right there. Look at that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that is pretty darling and heartwarming. Okay. So everything's going great. Everything's going great. He's hanging out. They're talking. She's crying. And next thing you know, her tough little brother shows up with a gun and tries to start crap. And there he is.
Friggin' Mace.
That hairdo, man. I'm growing my hair out so I can look like that.
You know, the first time I saw this on TV, you totally should, by the way.
I totally should.
I saw this, I had always, as a kid, not paying attention to all of the words, the dialogue of the show at all. I assumed that was like a Luke Skywalker character, or this was like a Luke Skywalker family thing. Like everything in my child mind, everything Star Wars was about Luke's family. And so I just automatically assumed, oh, well, this is like, part of them, or, something like that.
Honestly, I never drew that connection.
Even like I was just watching it. My wife was like, "Is that Luke?"
Well,
no. Mace, dummy.
Why are you guys married? Like, I love your wife. I do, but I mean, come on. He's not crying enough to be Luke.
He doesn't even know what Tashi Station is, I bet. He has no idea.
Clearly. He's a little privileged white kid. He never had to worry about power converters and moisture harvesting. I mean, look at that rockin' vest. That's a kid of privilege.
Yeah, that's much more of a Han Solo than a Luke Skywalker, I think.
Oh yeah.
That kid's got swagger.
He does.
All right, so Mace comes in. He's like threatening. He has Wicket hostage, and he's threatening to murder this beloved fuzzball creature. And then the Ewoks are like, "Oh hell no!"
That's probably the best part is they take him down, and he's like, "Oh, you can't do this to me. Oh, you can't do it. I'm gonna," and then they go whack, face down. And yeah, he was taken down by some Ewoks.
Which would be humiliating, except for the fact that the Ewoks took out the entire Star Wars crew in Return of the Jedi. So,
well, to be fair, they started with the Scout Troopers, and everybody knows Scout Troopers. I mean, they're tree huggers. Now, if it was that same amount of Ewoks up against the same amount of Snow Troopers from Empire, it would have completely been different. I mean, granted, they would have had to really hurry because in those costumes you die because it's super hot.
Yeah.
But if they would have met up really quick, yeah, they wouldn't have won. Just plain and simple. Those damn scouts.
Okay, so they take Mace down. The Ewoks take Mace down, and then they drag his ass, very Return of the Jedi like, up to their tree hut. And I got two things I got to say about this. First and foremost, I had the Tree City playset as a kid, and I was like over the moon. It was the coolest thing ever. It had like a little net that you could like lure people onto and then pull it up and it would like suck around them. And it had the spit roast that you could put the characters on. It was
nice.
awesome. And then the chair that C-3PO sits on, I had a little C-3PO, I put him on there. It was badass. Anyway, the second thing is that what's so fuzzy and cuddly about man-eating murderous bears? Like, these things were gonna eat the fucking heroes.
Yeah, you still want to hug them. I mean, at least that's me. I love animals. I've been attacked by animals before. Even getting bit, I'm still just like, oh, damn, I just want to pet you.
Oh,
get your
Kodiak.
mouth off my arm.
They're man-eaters.
That's the thing that was weird to me, because at least, best of my recollection, the family that we encounter up until Wicket shows up into the picture, they weren't a part of the tribe that took out the Empire and were with, the whole crew. That, like, I can only imagine that they would have been the same kind of crew where they're like, oh, people, we're just going to eat these dudes. Not, oh, hey, look at this cute little toe-headed girl. Let's save her. Yeah. That part was like, huh. Is it really that far after the Battle of Endor that they're cool as people now?
See, and I don't know where in the timeline the movie's supposed to fit. That's actually a really good question.
It doesn't count anymore. Like, that's the thing that cracks me up about the whole idea of the new canon. Like, it's only canon if it's film or in new books.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody wants to count the Ewok Adventures or the Christmas special, or sorry, the Life Day special.
Good.
Hey, you know what?
That's got to be a show.
Dude, I've got it. With commercials and everything, we need to sit down and watch it and then have a show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's happening. Lolly says that she had the Death Star playset. I'm so jealous!
Me too. The coolest thing I had, besides, I mean, I got toys. Oh, hey, look, it's one of the stars of the movie. The coolest thing I had was just one of the huge AT-ATs. Like, that AT-AT walker was so dope. Till my brother broke it in half.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Screw that guy.
That kid. Oh, man. Yeah, but there was a connection between the tribes, right? Wicket is that connection.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he was just like off with his dad Deej.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I of course overanalyze stuff. Like, I'm thinking, okay, this is, if we're going with just when stuff was released, I mean, this is a year after the films, maybe right after Return, he gets married, gets adopted into this other tribe, and like that was a whole tirade in my head. Like, as I'm watching the movie, because of course, let's be honest, there's not much story in the movie. Like, if you put all the story together, you got maybe like 15 minutes worth of actual story you have to pay attention to. So I kind of made up my own whole storyline behind Wicket.
It's all like incidental stuff.
Yeah.
Which is weird. So, yeah, okay. So they bring him back, and she immediately falls ill.
Oh, I know. Like, I can.
Are these contagious animals? Wild man-eating creatures?
Well, it is a different environment. So, to be honest, that's not that surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, take, for instance, like, if you were to go out of the country, someplace you've never been, you weren't acclimated to their climate and stuff,
it's true.
Chances are you're going to get a little bit of a runny nose at least.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is probably a different planet, whole different section of the galaxy that this kid grew up on, that they're in now.
Yeah,
so then she gets a little bit sick, especially from a crash. I mean, it's not that surprising. The coughing, though, that was she could have done better.
She's like 3. You could sell this better, young girl.
Could have done it better.
Young lady. Yeah, so I don't know if that was like a trust building. Like, they have to find a way to bond these children with this Ewok surrogate family in this moment. It was just weird that they added that in just because. Like, I feel like they could have just as easily transitioned from, we're going to protect this little girl who obviously crashed, let's go find where her people are from. Mm-hmm. They transitioned from that instead to say, well, let's throw in a little trust building thing with the sickness, then he's got to go find the correct herbs, and then they have this bonding frightful monster experience, and then they go back again. So I don't know, it was kind of strange to me.
It was a little much, but I mean, let's be honest, that monster that they had to fight after they, walked a couple blocks down to a tree that has a tap in it. I mean, like, it's a rare
they walked
herb that
to
you
Canada
can only get at this tree. Yeah.
To get some syrup.
Yeah, it's like, just pull this plug and, hey, let's go fix your sister. Cool. But that monster they had to fight, that was, like, everything aside, let's be honest, the sculpting on that and, like, actually putting it together, the stop motion stuff, it was pretty. It was a pretty monster. Like, I really dug it.
Are you talking about the monster, the wolf boar that attacked them afterward? After they had, like, tried to sneak out of the Ewok village?
Wait, was that after they snuck out?
He stuck his hand in, like, a tree area, and it got bit by a creature.
Never mind. Okay, again, I kind of zoned out during the movie. That was, that little fluff ball looked like a tribble. That just, It's like, these aren't in the universe. What are you doing here? Come on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I love that they went out of their way to not only protect and rescue in the face of Mesa's attempted murder of Wicket and control of the situation, to take care of these kids. They gave him food, they gave him medicine, and he's like, you know what? I still don't trust these people. Let's get out of here, sis. And
and he's so demanding too. He's like, this food, I don't need this. You're not being nice. Blah, blah, blah. Like, just so mean. They're like, hey, man, here's some food. Just let's chill. I don't want this. He's
such a dick.
Like, dude, come on, man.
The whole time. Okay, so he goes and he's like, what's up, Jana? They try to run away, and like the brilliant tactician he is, in the middle of the night, he just lights the biggest bonfire that he could possibly light with the greatest barbecue lighter I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I need one of those.
That was awesome. Well, let me build a fire. And then he has this really weird reminiscing moment. I shouldn't have acted so poorly to my parents. I'm a terrible son.
That was, at that point, you didn't need to throw it into the film. Like, all you gotta do is just have one fadeaway shot right before it goes to the next scene where his sister's asleep by the fire, and he just kind of... Like, that's all you need.
Yeah.
The whole speech... Oh, she really wants to be in the scene. She's got a lot to say about her whole process,
well, let's give her a better shot for the people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. She wants a little ear action.
She does. She's
like, I like your earlobe.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I guess that's pretty much the entire movie. Like, it's scenes dragging on. Like, this could have very easily just been a 30-minute film, and it would have been all right.
So let's talk about that creature that you said was so finely sculpted that...
It was, man. It was pretty.
I don't know which came first, this or The Princess Bride. But whichever came first stole this creature from the other one. Because this is the rodent of unusual size from Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty much. They added a couple little extra things. I love it.
The stop-motion animation on this was terrible.
It was on par with that era. Come on. But then again,
they just did the Rancor, and it was amazing. And then this guy comes, like, clomping out.
Well, obviously, he's not as majestic as a Rancor. I mean, let's be fair. Let's be fair. Rancors are pretty majestic creatures.
It's true.
When the one dies and the Rancor handler starts crying in the movie, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's stupid. Why is he crying?" Come on.
I felt for that.
Who doesn't want?
I had that caretaker as an action figure. Yeah, you're gonna love whatever animal you train, and so it's weird. They're so cool that the Witches of Dathomir ride them as wild creatures.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how cool is that?
Have you ever seen a picture of a Caravan Rancor?
I don't think so.
Dude, they're pretty.
Oh wait, are they like all spiky?
Yeah, they're spiky and black and red.
I think I have seen that.
Pretty dope.
Pretty awesome.
Not something that exists anymore, but they're still pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, sorry, whoa. I don't know what that was. I'm sorry.
You're a ferret, maybe?
Maybe.
Oh, no. It's the ghost of the Caravan Rancor.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So they're running for their lives quite smartly away from this creature and hide in a tree trunk. And, like, the creature's just like, I'm going to try to get you really quick, and then just gives up. And they're like, oh, let's go to sleep here, sis.
Yeah.
And then they wake up to the Ewoks kicking the crap out of this thing. Now, here's another note. Aside from the man-eating nature of these Ewoks, they are insanely effective murderers. Like, the greatest hunters of... They beat military tacticians thousands of years in evolution, and they still kick the Empire's Tookus in in that little shield generator depot, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's because to an extent they're still a feral being. Yeah. I mean, they're basically sentient creatures. They have an actual dialogue and mythology for them, like the stories and all that. But deep down, they're still animals. Their baser instincts are to kill or be killed. Yeah. And they're some monster killers.
Again, not the cute, cuddly creatures that we've been led to believe. These are vicious, monstrous creatures. That ferret is going crazy.
She is. Why don't you take over for a second? I'm going to go ahead and throw her away or something.
Okay. I actually don't have a screen planned for not showing you, so we'll just show you doing whatever you're going to do. All right, so the Ewoks come into the scene. The kids wake up in the morning, and they see like this Ewok body rushing past the tree trunk. And the Ewoks are literally attacking this wolf boar trying to rescue the kids who just ran away from their damn house. They don't have no need to do this. They don't owe these kids anything. And they're still going out of their way, risking life and limb to save them. And then Wicket, that amazingly successful man-eating murderer himself, comes up with a poison dart at the end of the battle.
I know, that's like the great part is the dart is what takes him out.
Dude. Why didn't you lead with the fucking poison dart?
yeah, whatever. It's a game to them. I think that's what it is. They hunt for sport because, again, they're vicious.
Maybe they're like Native American Indians where they're counting coup. They're like running up and just like tapping him, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm a great warrior because I counted coup on this wolf boar 8 times before Wicket got here and just ruined everyone's fun." I think that's what it is.
That might be what it is. I mean, you're not a real man until you've hunted a buffalo with your bare hands. Like that's how I became a man. I just walked up, punched a buffalo right square in between the eyes, took him out. I mean,
I'm gonna eat you. Pop.
That's when I became a man. Very similar. The only thing is, like, when I did it versus when they shot this boar with a dart, is when I punched the buffalo, it didn't smoke out of its mouth when it died.
My copy was so bad, I didn't even know it had smoke coming out of its mouth.
Oh yeah, it's like it finally drops. It's and then just smoke.
That's awesome.
Like the whole time, it's like, wait, did it have a cigar in its mouth before it got killed? Does this dart, like, is it like an incendiary dart that goes in and has a chemical reaction in the innards and?
It's like white phosphorus
dart.
It just incinerates everything from the inside out. So
I mean, it would be convenient, I guess.
I think we sort of glistened over the part where the kids are actually looking for their parents.
Oh,
like,
okay, yeah.
That's why they really left. They didn't just leave out of spite. They were just like, let's go find our parents. These Ewoks are not going to help us. Ironically, they end up helping them. So they beat the wolf boar, and the wolf boar has some sort of communicator or locator.
Yeah, it was the heart monitor.
Yeah,
thing.
From the
because everybody has a heart monitor apparently on their wrist.
Well, it's like
and it works if you're not wearing
it. It's a Star Wars Fitbit.
True. Oh,
maybe it's the Star Wars Apple Watch.
Maybe. I guess that would make more sense if it was still somehow monitoring your heart when you're not wearing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because that's how they knew they were still alive was, oh, hey, this is Dad's
I thought it was just a logic leap saying, oh, well, if this is here, then they haven't been consumed. But that would be counter-logical, so I don't know.
Yeah. No, it was flashing. Like, it was really faint, but it was flashing. So somehow that meant that his dad wasn't dead.
He has a pacemaker. Maybe that's what it is. It's
Maybe.
a remote. So, yeah, so they're begging now, the very creatures that they were trying to run away from in the first place. They just saved their asses for the second time to help them find their parents. And this is where it starts to get weird, I think. And they reach out to my favorite Ewok of all time. I had this character too, because I'm insane with this stuff. Logray.
Up there somewhere.
The shaman Ewok.
Yeah.
He's so cool. He had skulls. He had like a staff. Oh, you can see it. Little staff skulls. Bone staff. This guy was so awesome. He was the one commanding the other Ewoks to cook up Han Solo. Would have made a tasty little meal. If it wasn't for that damn golden god getting in the way.
Stupid god.
Stupid god. Yeah, so he comes in with this item that clearly is magical of some sort. So I want to stop here for a second, and can we just discuss the idea of magic v the Force, or how different creatures interact with the Force so that it seemed like, for example, Maz Kanata from The Force Awakens. Mm-hmm. She is not a Jedi. She was never fully trained or even officially ever trained in the Force, yet she is Force sensitive, and in outtakes she can actually control the environment using the Force. Mm-hmm. In Star Wars Rebels, I can't remember the creature's name, but he's the original look of what Chewbacca was going to look like. That creature, he says Carabast whenever he's pissed. Carabast! His people that he comes from, they're very much Force-wielding creatures. And there's a whole story arc about him, I think, in like season 2 or 3 of Star Wars Rebels, which is actually really good if you haven't
One
seen
of
it.
these days, I'll actually watch it.
You must see it. And then you have the Witches of Dathomir, the Night Sisters, which use Sith alchemy or just the Force, the dark side of the Force. So is the Force just like the magic tell-all, like the dumping ground of anything that would be considered magic? And is that what this powers this sort of top spinner that Lore Gray pulls out?
That's what I would guess. I mean, in a universe where that is like, I mean, that is everything. That is what makes up everything. I would imagine that...
It surrounds us. It binds us.
Yeah.
It's like BDSM.
Ooh, never thought of it that way.
The Force. It's binding me. Spank me, Force. Spank me.
That's another episode right
50 Shades of Endor.
Hey.
There it is.
That's how I'm going to make tens of dollars writing a book.
I would literally make tens of dollars.
Because I would buy every copy. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, it kind of makes sense to me that it would be just any sort of token or amulet or anything that they use that they would perceive as magic. It would have some sort of aspect of the Force, because with the Force, like Jedis and Sith, they're trained to a certain extent to be able to see into the future. I mean, that's how they're able to like dodge blaster bolts. That's how they have their super fast reflexes. So I can only imagine that the super wicked awesome dreidel that he uses has some sort of Force magic in it.
I didn't think of it as a dreidel, but
really,
for some reason that makes
you saw.
It looks exactly like an overgrown dreidel, but
it looks like a giant dreidel, except cooler because it doesn't have those little wicked awesome symbols on it. Yeah. It has a TV in it. It's pretty rocking.
It's true. It was a straight up TV. Oh, there's so many parallels with this movie and Willow as I watch it. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so the magic that I wanted to explore that a little bit because and Disney has taken it much more down that road of it's pervasive in the galaxy. Cultures use the Force, knowingly that it's called the Force or not. They use this magical life essence, and it's just done in different ways. And you're going to see, or at least we're going to describe in a couple different scenes in this, it's tapped into by these Ewoks in much more than just the giant dreidel TV. Yeah. I thought it was weird too, because he needed it's magic, but it's not like good magic, because he still needs an object of the person they're searching for in order to make the TV get the correct signal.
It's a dreidel that's a television set. That's pretty magical. I don't care if you need to plug it into a damn wall. That's still pretty sweet.
I just figure if you're already there with the magic dreidel TV, you could just go the extra distance. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm on board at this point. They see like a screenshot or it's like short little video clips of the mom screaming and the dad screaming, and the kids are like, "They're alive! You must help us!" Yeah. Well, like, of course they're going to help you at this point. Like, why wouldn't they help you? They've gone this far for you.
Yeah, exactly. We're 30 minutes into the movie. That's what's been going on. Just naturally assume what's going to happen.
Yeah. The end of the first act. So that's when he gives him a very Willow-esque fare thee well into the future with magical items to take with you. And a couple extra to, convince a couple curmudgeonry Ewoks to join.
Say, hey, you want to help me? No. Check this out. La, la. Okay. And you know what? Never mind. That's pretty shiny. I'll join along.
Pretty awesome. Yeah, so they get this caravan together, hence the name. Caravan of
See
Courage.
what they did there.
This caravan of Ewoks together with these spare magical items to go rescue the parents from the dreaded, the evil Gorax.
Are we seriously? We're not going to discuss the items. At least the Red Wings.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, come on. Let's at least the Red Wings. I mean, that's a pretty awesome gift.
Which one got the Red Wings?
That was the son of the
I hope
lead
no
explorer,
kids are watching this. Weechi, yeah, the eldest son of.
Yeah. Like, why are you giving him Red Wings?
He's like, Your girlfriend will be going through her cycle. And you will deserve these soon.
And this, son, is how you become a man.
Or at least a vile, disgusting creature.
Whatever. Tomato, tomato.
Whatever floats your Ewok boat. It's all good. Yeah, so there's the white wings of hope, the red wings of courage, and you're going to need it if you want to get those red wings. It takes a lot of intestinal fortitude. Blue wings of strength, the candle of pure light, and a fucking rock. Which was awesome.
The fucking rock, yeah.
I mean, it's a plot device, but...
He's the fucking genius of the whole bunch. Like, he's the unsung hero of this bunch, really. Like, he's the one that was like, oh, dude, this dude's just throwing away the rock. I'm gonna carry it in my one
That's how Wicket rolls, man. He's like...
He saved him twice.
Yeah. Wicket's the man. He's just straight up the man. Go Warwick. And another interesting little note for people here is the father, Deej, his last name is Warwick. Deej Warwick. Oh. And it's Warwick Davis that plays Wicket, his son. So I just thought that was an interesting little connection.
I didn't know he had a last name. That's
This is according to Wikipedia, so take it for
you know what? I trust it for the most part.
Yeah. For the legend knowledge. Okay, so anyway, the caravan's going. The first person they meet that doesn't want to join is the Choka Trock. This dude is like the super old, pissed off warrior that is like a mountain man, doesn't want to be with anyone else. And he turns him around, not with the tooth, but with an axe throwing contest.
Yeah. I mean, he totally threw that vibro axe pretty damn well. And yeah, I mean, he hit a thing on a tree. I mean, that's
he did hit a thing on a tree.
Pretty impressive. I don't even think he hit the switch to get it to start vibrating. So, I mean, you know, if I was an angry old man that lived in the woods with an axe that just did angry things, I'd be impressed.
Yeah. Well, it worked. And then which is okay. So obviously they need this sort of muscle from both of these new characters that they're about to get to, in order to defeat this ultimate bad guy.
Yeah,
it's just weird that they didn't start with them in the first place. They're like, oh well, let's just get our greatest warrior and our greatest priestess together and send them with you. They're like, because they make a plot point device of them having to seek them out, yet it's all of 2 minutes to get them to come with you. So there's no real journey there, I don't know.
Well, that we know of. I mean,
that's true.
It could have. It was 2 minutes version. To us. It could have been like 2 hours or something. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe at this point in time in their society, they don't really need those kind of people to be around every single group. Because I mean, if you consider the tribe that the children were rescued by, you look at all the animals that were around, the crops. I mean, they were clearly just farmers. There weren't any tokens of, great battles or anything like that.
It's true.
There was just llamas and ferrets and bunnies.
It's true. I do like the odd like owl shot and then the odd bunny shot and then the ferret in the background. They love their animals.
Made no sense, but. Okay.
So the next...
Although I would love to see an Ewok wrangle a llama. Just saying that right now. Like I would pay good money to see that.
I'd love to see with an ostrich, dude.
Yeah.
Wicket would jump on the back of that like it was a speeder and just hold on for dear life.
That'd be pretty dope.
All right, so Kink. That's it. Kaink. Kink.
Yes, Kinkle.
This is Kinkle is the priestess Ewok, who again lives all by herself. She was given a crystal, and so she was like, "Sure, I'll join you."
No, she was like, "You guys got to prove to me that I need to join along."
That's true. I was skipping over another important plot device.
That was pretty important because the boy holds it, and he's, "Why do we need you?" And then it turns into a lizard.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Nah." But then the little girl, who's pure of heart, picks up.
Turned into a rat.
What's wrong with rats?
I'm just saying it's called a rat because it's a rat.
Rats are amazing. They are like the best of both worlds when it comes to cats and dogs, except you can fit them in your pocket, so it's even better.
Is that true?
Dude, I
know the pocket part, but
oh yeah, like I used to train rats. Like they're
really
super dope. Like they're cuddly, they're loving, they're smart as hell.
What?
Like my little like my little Sid Vicious, I used to take him everywhere with me. I had him trained that he could just chill right up on my shoulder. I'd take him to school, take him everywhere. And if he had to hide, like if he was somewhere he wasn't supposed to be and somebody was going to come up, I'd just tug on my hoodie. He'd go in the hood, chill in there.
Dude, you're like a punk rock pirate.
No, I just
Sid
love animals.
Vicious rat. That's awesome.
I just love animals. But yeah, he was. Yeah, rats are dope.
All right, I'd take it back. I take it. I've turned a corner here. So yeah, she shows the resilience, the ingenuity, the heart, of a fuzzy creature instead of the scaly one, which is weird. And so that convinces her. She's like, "Oh, well, you're a cute little girl. Your brother sucks, but I'll go with you." Oh, you little squeezing her little cheek. Crazy. Lolly says the rats pee on you, though.
It's a what?
That's gross.
So do children, and people have a lot of those fucking things. I mean,
that's actually a really good point.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, my wife has been pooped in the face, projectile pooped in the face before by our kids. So,
you want to know the moment that I sobered up? I quit doing drugs. Was the day I got home. My sister was maybe like 6-7 months. I was high as hell, and it was routine that we like anytime I got home, I would change her diaper, then we'd hang out, watch TV, I'd read to her, sing to her, then she goes to bed. Well, I get home, I'm like, "Oh, you liar, you didn't go potty." As I say that, just projectile liquid poo just all down the front of me. It was I just kind of stopped, looked at her, I'm like, well, fuck. Got in the shower fully clothed, that's the last time I ever did drugs.
Oh my god.
It was bad.
Scared straight.
Yep. Like I was too high to handle that. I don't think I can ever do that again.
Oh man. Okay. So we've jumped the shark on this poop tangent.
Hell yeah. Just call me the Fonz.
So there's a couple misadventures that happen, but there's one more teammate that they get that kind of freaks me out. So this is what's referred to as a whizzle. If I'm looking at this right now, I can't find it. This is Queen Isrena. Queen Isrena, the Whizzle. Look at that scary ass eyeballs and mouth, and freaking no.
It's even worse when she's like talking and dancing. It's like that's pretty, like
that's some voodoo shit, dude. I'm not okay with that.
Or God, even like the ginger people stuff. Like if you think of like nymphs and stuff like that, like they were cute little creatures, but they'd rip your face off and
God. I'm just waiting for this thing to show its like gaping where its teeth would be, like rah!
Yeah.
Ugh, scary little creature. Anyway, they use the cute little girl's candle to summon all these whizzles into the candle, and that unleashes this Queen Isrena, which is really kind of the only reason why they ended up, spoiler alert, saving their parents, in my opinion.
I don't think you can say spoiler alert, or you should say spoiler alert, when a movie is almost 40 years old.
That's true. Holy shit. Oh my gosh.
Okay, it's not
That's how old I am. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So they get this weird creature, no idea what she does, other than she's seemingly the only person that can stand mace at this point in the movie.
Hey, you know what? That's a magical power.
Well, mace and chukka, because of the axe throwing. Which is, yes, magical power. So they have to show why each of these characters got these different magical items. They have to have a reason for it. So the boy touches water that then immediately traps him underneath the water because it's Endor.
That's what happens.
Oh, no. Weird thing to happen.
It's because this is a fantasy movie.
Yeah.
It is not a science fiction movie. It's not even a Star Wars movie. It's just a cheese-tacular fantasy movie. That's the shit that happens in fantasy movies.
It's true.
The most benign thing in the world is going to kill you.
Water. Yeah, so only the magical item stick can actually get the kid out. I agree with you, Lolly. Age is subjective. I'm objectively old.
Yeah.
The kid gets rescued by that. I don't remember the wings being in use, to be quite honest.
No, I
never saw that Ewok earn his Red Wings.
Hey, you know what? He ran really fucking fast.
That's true.
I mean, that's got to be some sort of skill that's going to warrant earning Red Wings.
Yeah. I totally just hit my tooth with glass, and that's the worst feeling ever.
Yeah.
So they're in this caravan headed toward Gorax's lair, happening on these little misadventures. One of them, the horse runs away with the kid, and Chuka Truck needs to go find her, and he brings her back, and everyone's happy and everything. So let's get to the meat and potatoes. Let's get to Gorax, the creature who needs no hairy nipple introduction because we've already done it. The creature, the giant. Actually, this is a sort of Jack and the Beanstalk scenario. He's got the parents up in a cage. You can't see my hand. Up in a cage, and everyone's walking around down here, down here, and they have to look up, and they're like, "How do I get up there?" It's a made-for-TV Star Wars movie. We're gonna do a catapult that you have to jump on in order to get it to launch you up there. Of course, why not?
Hey, it makes sense.
When I saw that, as a kid, I was just like, "Yeah, of course."
Yeah, it makes sense. You don't argue it.
2 Ewoks, 1 little boy. He's gonna go way up high.
Well,
in real world, I'm just like
creatures.
What's that?
There are some pretty bulky creatures.
Yeah, they're dense. They have the density of a fallen star.
Pretty damn close.
Of a pulsing. I couldn't think of
something.
Space, a neutron star. Yeah, which is just weird. So the kids are rescuing the parents. At the same time, they're trying to avoid this monstrous creature right there. And, of course, yeah. Shit, it's reverse. Of course, it's one of the Ewoks that gives them away. And it's the one that got his Red Wings. We can't run or we can't hide, I think his name is. Weechi. Weechi, we wish we could hide, is his name. And that means it's time for Chuka to step up. And boy, is he's like running, he's like guarding the quarterback from Gorax. It's just crazy. He's just like chopping toes. Yeah. I wish I could have seen like a big toe just lopped off by his axe.
Every time I watch it, I keep waiting for that. Because, I mean, dude's pretty damn strong, and it's already pretty obvious that a really dull stone axe is very sharp.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just
it's a fucking stone axe.
Argue that his toe would just go...
It would have been amazing if we could have seen that.
It would have.
Yeah, and there was like one of the Ewoks looked like he got stepped on, but then he actually got away. And at some point, the Queen Weezer, she wants to be Buddy Holly, comes out of the kid's hand and like spins around this guy, this Gorax, like confusing him and sort of hurting him away. And out of fury, and because there has to be some permanent death, he like hits the wall or he hits a stalactite or something, and like rocks come down and slowly kill good old Chuka.
Yeah, that was weak sauce. Shouldn't have done it, man.
He could have lived. He could have lived.
But it was pretty sweet of him, because he's like, you know what, homie? I've only known you for like an hour or two. But here's my axe. You're going to need it to take this guy out. Take
my
it.
Axe.
You've earned
it. Yeah, that was nice. We skimmed over the part where they had to cross this great chasm.
I know, we're missing the spider.
Yeah,
that amazing spider.
Ugh. I didn't actually get a screenshot of the spiders because I was not impressed with the spiders.
Oh my god, that was a prime example of why practical effects worked so much better back in the day, because you had film grain, you had you're watching something that's already kind of grainy on a TV screen that's this big. So watching it completely redone in high def on a screen that's like huge, like it was so obvious to see all the little lines. It was pretty awesome.
That's great. But that's where the priestess got to like weave her magic with her staff and like hypnotize the spider. I mean, it was very Lord of the Rings, I think.
Oh, very.
Pulled out the big light, and the spider was like, ah. Anyway, in this case, it just sort of like, oh, like then they just cut the web. And here's the weird thing: presumably, the spider weaved that web. It only has one point to connect it to that wall.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's stupid, for one, especially considering it's going to be multiple points that they were crossing. Mm-hmm. But whatever. Well,
or that it couldn't have just, like, spun another web right out of its tuchus.
Well, and if you think about it, how does it come down? It doesn't come down on the web. It comes down on a line.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely separate of the web. But
too many plot holes.
It's
too many
magic.
damn holes. Anyway, it was
a magical knife. They didn't go into the magical knife.
They had to give a reason for bringing the priestess along, and that was the reason to save them from that spider. Yeah, and so ultimately, of course, they defeat this creature by luring him and using the great tripping trap that they cultivated against the Empire and the fucking ATST walkers.
Yeah. That's what Ewoks are good at.
Well, I don't know, get a trip rope. Let's try it. It might work. Ends up working every time. Dude falls in.
Whatever.
There's still enough of the spider web.
This movie, it was just so much slapstick.
Yeah. There's enough web to swing across. Some swing across, and then suddenly the creature comes back up because he like caught a ledge by like cliffhanger fingers. Yeah. He climbed up, and that's where the axe came. The stone axe maced through it, killed the monster. Gorax fell to his death.
Hey, you know what? It was pretty impressive. He got him dead center right in the neck.
It is true. And to be fair, like the mom that was rescued ended up shooting him, right?
Well, she shot him before. Yeah. That's how he fell down. Yeah. Because he was like, wug, 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 from tripping on the line. And then, he...
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, so he's down for the final count. And ultimately, the family is reunited. They hug and cry and moan and all happily travel back to the Ewok village where they end the show.
Well, they had to end it because that's when the Ewoks were like, all right, fuck this, let's eat these bastards.
It was a dark ending that they just couldn't show on camera.
It was.
They're like, we need to get these little human animals to lure the big human animals into our trap.
Hey, you know what? Some people like mutton.
They wanted the real meal. These little kids weren't going to satiate an entire village. They needed the big guns, man. So it makes perfect sense. So what were some of your favorite elements of this movie?
How much I laughed. Like I said at the beginning, like I haven't watched this in pretty much 10 years. Like for last time I watched it, it was just to show my wife because I picked it up and I was like, "Hey, you want to see something horrible?" And it wasn't Faces of Death. So, as cheesy as it is, honestly, I am a sucker for practical effects, and especially with like the painted glass and all that stuff with the scenes. Because I mean, of course, this is way before the fancy digital stuff. Dude.
Yeah,
it's just God, it's beautiful. Yeah, and it's really that's the only reason why I ever watched this movie, is just to appreciate stuff like that. And I mean, they did a killer job, especially with the nipples. Yeah, they're good nipples.
Great monster. Great hairy monster nipples. I love the nostalgia of it. You know, I grew up in this time where I had watched Return of the Jedi. Of course, as a kid, you love the Ewoks because they helped the heroes save the day. And the fact that there was more to that. And there was even a cartoon series after this. Mm-hmm. So our culture, our Star Wars culture, was permeated with Ewok insanity for a long time, and I was at the age where I loved and ate up every little bit of it, from the toys to the cartoons to the made-for-TV movies that were just terrible.
Cartoons
movies.
were even worse,
and it didn't matter because it's Star Wars and because I loved it so much. And I love that it starts this thread of thinking, of connecting the greater Star Wars universe for me. So it's easy to isolate the idea of this sort of this mythical world, this galaxy that has these rules per story and per planet. But then you start seeing little gems like this crop up, and you're like, now wait a second, was he using the Force when he did the dreidel, or was that something else? And then you start thinking about how each culture throughout this galaxy interacts with this primary plot point that runs through everything in this galaxy, and it just becomes an interesting exploration of story. And I really loved it for that. It was great. So I'm glad we could get together to talk about this. What was the least favorite parts of this?
Watching it. It's just, oh man, it's again, nostalgia, it's great, and watching all the goofy shit, it's great, but man, it could have been like 40-50 minutes shorter and I'd have been a happy camp.
Totally.
Because there's just so much dead air. Like, it's like they were gonna do montage footage like throughout a good amount of the film.
Dude, what if they did an 80s dressing, like changing room montage with the Ewoks?
That's what they should have done. That's what it seemed like they were filming it as. And then the editor was probably just like super trash and like, fuck it, let's make this a full feature. 30 minutes.
It was the 80s, dude. He was high on cocaine for sure.
Oh yeah, probably cocaine
for sure. Because this was
like, no,
early.
It's not enough. It's not enough. We need more.
I want to get a lot of stressful looking Ewoks just looking at the camera. Let's just get more.
And they have to do handstands and cartwheels and they have to tumble on each other. Yeah, we need more of that.
You know what kind of bugged me we never talk about? During the retelling, the amazing retelling of the story that we just went through, I gotta, hats off to you, man. That was pretty stellar. I don't think anyone needs to watch it. They can just listen to this.
It's more interesting.
The Ewoks understood every bit of English. Every bit.
Okay. That I can kind of understand, because if we're going a year after the Battle of Endor, you gotta imagine that the New Republic, or I guess it's still the Alliance at this point, they've got a base set up there. So they're going to be communicating with the natives in Basic. I mean, of course, they don't have a great handle on Basic, except for Wicket. Wicket, obviously, he understands Basic pretty damn well, and can speak it. Yeah, and Crash. Motherfucker had Crash down.
That's not a spaceship, that's a horse. Yeah.
One thing
that's what bothered me. They were way too educated to be primal creatures still.
Fair enough.
Like, it always bugged me.
The one thing we didn't discuss, which I feel we're not doing this movie enough service, is we're not discussing the narration.
Oh.
The stellar narration of the guy that sounds like, it's a job. Oh.
He kind of mailed it in on this one. He totally mailed it in. He narrated Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which was great.
Oh my god, he did!
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, holy crap.
Which was amazing. And then he comes in this with, he's like, hey, it's a paycheck, bitches. What the fuck is an Ewok?
Exactly this. The hell is an aluminum falcon?
Didn't these little bastards try to eat the last people that got it? Yeah, it's just he's a stellar performer, and he totally mailed this in. And I mean, it could have, it's probably in the audio direction, but like he was super mic'd down in the copy I was watching. You could hardly hear him. He just didn't seem interested at all.
You were listening to a bad copy. Well, he isn't interested at all. Like, it sounds like they were like, here's $20 and a bottle of bourbon. Let's see what we can do in 15 minutes. But
Rudolph again.
yeah, like it was bad. I mean, the quality, because I don't have a pirated version.
I don't know either. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
why would you say that?
Know.
That's a weird thing to say for someone that doesn't have one.
That is pretty weird. But like the sound quality is stellar. Like it's nice, crisp, clean vocals, like what you would expect from a narration. But yeah, it's. And then they were done. Yay. That's basically what it felt like the whole time.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I'm gonna go watch it again. I feel like I should watch this at least 3 more times to really fully appreciate it.
As soon as my wife gets home, I'm gonna sit her down and be like, "I'm getting a divorce if we don't watch this."
It's happening. It's happening.
So I'll probably be single next episode. Just saying. Anyone interested out there?
Or you could make 50 Shades of Endor.
Yeah, 50 Shades of Endor. Where's my pen? I need to write this down.
Dude, it's happening. This is the porno that needs to be made. All right. Well, thank you for watching.
Yes.
People.
Thank you, people that have just
far too much time on your hands.
You're amazing.
Amazing. I love you all.
That's what it is.
Oh, you know what I didn't do? Oh my gosh! I have the trailer. Oh, okay. We have to watch the trailer.
Okay.
The audio's not going to come on through for you, but for everyone else.
I know.
Search for their missing parents.
How are we going to find them?
So good.
We will. Don't worry.
There's May's
And
little
fate
punk ass.
leads them to the magical Ewoks.
We help you.
Now, a great adventure begins.
Great.
The best part is I completely forgot the Ewoks actually did blink before this last Blu-ray release.
Yeah, you just think they're like stuffed bears.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the spiders. And they totally give away the ending too in this trailer.
Motion picture
Great.
featuring
Oh yeah, this is a very
incredible special
Disney-esque
effects from the
trailer.
award-winning team of Industrial Light and Magic.
There it is, the dreidel.
I made you out of fur.
Sometimes when you search for the impossible, an unbelievable adventure unfolds.
Yeah, shit. I have never seen this trailer. They totally give everything away.
Don't miss the Ewok Adventure.
That's the original
Yeah.
From
God, I wish I had those
Home
VHS
Video.
tapes.
original name.
Oh,
Brilliant.
man. Love that box art.
I think that's going to do it for this episode.
I don't know what else we can say that hasn't been said.
Thank you guys for tuning in live. Thank you guys for watching this after the fact. You can always support the show by subscribing to the YouTube channel. Click that little bell in the description or right above the description if you want to find out when the next live show is going to be happening. Of course, it's always the fourth Sunday of every month at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I usually put up the show as a video like a week before the actual live air date. So you can see what we're going to be talking about. Yeah, send in your scruffy looking Nerf Herder videos,
Yes,
people.
we need them. We
Yeah.
need them.
And all I have to say is, I'm Adam, and I'm a scruffy looking Nerf Herder. And then send that to us. Do it in selfie style. It'll take.
You could also say your own name.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Instead of Adam. Or actually, you know what? Everybody could just say they're Adam.
There could
That'd
be a lot of
great,
Adams. I don't know.
A lot of Adams.
Who am I? I'm just Adam. Yeah, send them into our email address. What's our email address?
The Infernal Brotherhood at gmail.com.
Oh, I'm so glad you had it because I didn't.
Yeah, I made sure to remember it this morning.
The Infernal Brotherhood at gmail.com. Send us a note saying, hi, how are you? We like Ewoks too. Or if you really do want to see that 50 Shades of Endor, send us a note and let us know and we will reenact it.
I will get writing shit right now if people really want to see it.
It'll be awesome. All right. Well, my fellow scruffy looking Nerf Herders, may the force be with you.